Grab a beer and pull up a chair. Welcome to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. I am in the Northwoods here yet with Jim.
Hey, everybody, how you doing?
I think everybody's doing good, man. How are you doing?
Another great day in paradise.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit warm. I'm not going to lie, but it's pretty. Hey, Ron, get over here. Get up here.
You know, that brings up a good point. Like, you know, it's almost like a second home up here, a second community you live in. You never know who might be walking by.
Yeah, exactly.
And unfortunately, we found Ron.
Yeah, it could have been anybody else in the whole campground, and we found Ron. Which is, I'm just joking, Ron. I think.
Okay.
So we stumped him already.
Well, hey, Jim, you know Ron. I know Ron for sure. He's my brother-in-law. And actually, Ron has a couple distinctions. One, he's one of the co-founders of our beer tasting group up here, along with myself and with our friend Bob. And also, Ron is the one to blame for this entire thing because he's the person that introduced me to craft beer. So, Ron, do you have anything to say about that? Do you want to apologize? Do you want to
take credit?
I don't want to take any credit for you and any problems you might have developed.
Okay, that's good.
Today or in the future?
At any time.
Okay. Well, Ron, I know you were walking by. Do you have a little while? Because we're going to try some lagers here if you're at all interested.
Well, I was going to the bathroom, but okay.
You're ready. You're good.
I am thirsty. It is hot. It is humid, and I may expire on the way to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, we're going to get you some fluid here to keep you going.
Okay. All right.
So Jim brought.
We brought
some more
6 different lagers, but I think the unique part about what we're doing is they're not all the same style.
Right.
So we're going to get kind of a cross section of some different ones. I think these are all pretty lower in ABV.
Yep.
But again, these, I hate to keep harping on it, but I just walked in the build your own 6-pack and found these beers. These are not, I didn't get a case of them or 12-pack. It's just one beer. Looked like it looked interesting, and just put it in the pack and brought it for everybody to try.
Oh, for sure. And when you sent me your list of what you had, when I looked at it, there's some of these sound really interesting, and so we'll see what happens.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I've never had any of these, and that's what kind of piqued my interest in them. And some of them, like I said, they sound really cool. So, let's hop into the first one.
Oh, really?
That's a bad pun, wasn't it? Because this is by Hop and Barrel Brewing Company, and it is their Saint Black Lager, and it's 5% ABV. The write-up that they had on it says, the Hop and Barrel brew monks have enlightened us with a divinely dark lager, crisp but malty and lightly toasted with just a hint of grain. Driven by chocolate notes, Saint Black is a transcendent beer for when the days are short and the nights too long. Rise above.
So was this in a movie?
I don't know.
Was that transcendent?
I don't know. And how are nights too long? I don't know.
Yeah,
they seem real short to me. Alarm goes off real quick. So this one, the artwork on this is pretty cool. I mean, it's a neat can.
It's very nice. Very nice.
It's got, I don't know what the person is. We'll have to take a picture of that.
Well, it looks like a monk or
some kind of thing, but it's kind of spooky.
Yes,
a little bit.
It's all in black.
Yeah,
like an Indian.
I wonder if it is one of the monks because it says brew monk on the thing.
It could be.
Oh, yeah, that could be.
And then it's white with what are the little things on there? I don't know what hops. They're hops, And then it's in black, but then they got like a green tinge over the. Enough talking about the can. Let's break into this and see. I thought it sounded really interesting being a black lager.
I'm gonna die of dehydration if you keep talking over there.
I don't think I've ever had a black lager.
Yeah, I don't. If we have it sure hasn't been many of them.
There's not many.
No.
So your glass is no writing on.
Oh, why is there no writing on my glass?
So you can remember which one it is.
Oh,
because we thought if you had to try and remember,
make it as easy as possible.
Trying to remember who I am.
Your member might not remember.
It definitely is dark.
It's dark.
It's not like our bourbon barrel dark.
No,
but it's like a darkish brown.
It's definitely almost not quite as dark as a porter, but it's like a really deep amber.
It's got a good aroma.
Got a nice head on it.
Yeah, it does. You can taste the chocolate kind of notes in it.
It's not bad.
No,
I mean,
on being as hot as it is today, it's one of those you might not reach for it first because it is a little bit of heavier flavor to it, but it's not bad. I don't mind it.
Oh.
I mean, the flavors are good. I mean, I got a good. The only thing I'm like right now, the finish is still kind of lingering.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit of a little bite on the end, but it's not bad.
Yeah. So
That's good beer.
these guys are at Hudson, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Okay.
2 blocks from the Mississippi, it looks like.
Peter. Okay. So yeah, that's not. We had. I think we have another one by these guys for a lager too, and we had last night. We had a hop and barrel, so that they do have quite a variety of beers that they offer. You know, so that's cool. And like I said, the ones last night, the one was good, and I think I like this one. I think they do a good job.
Yep. And I know we were talking before we went on air that they even have their own podcast team up there at Hop and Barrel.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. I never knew that. So
check it out.
Listen to it, and
tell them what we think of their beers, and maybe we can get on with them.
Yeah, who knows? So, Ron, what we do, you know how our rating scale goes. It's 0 to 5, 2.5 is average. We go by 1/10 of a point. Why don't you lead us off? Just give us your.
Well, can I ask one question to Ron? So, Ron, we were just talking. Mike is rated
4,509 different beers.
How close to that number are you for drinking different types of beer?
Well, I'm way over 10,000.
Wow. You are, would you consider yourself an expert then?
But you got to remember, Jim, he didn't have a smartphone for years, so he couldn't log them in, right?
And I've forgotten probably another several thousand.
So you would say your opinion on how you're going to tell us what you think of the beers is going to be it's based on some acquired taste over the years.
I guess you could say that.
Okay, Ron has been to pretty much every beer tasting we've ever had, even back in the unlimited days that we'd call it, where we barely survived. So yeah, he's tried a lot of beers with me, and yeah,
and that's good. So I think the listener's good, so that we don't. I know we just randomly picked you off the street, but I mean randomly picked you off the street, but you actually have a lot of knowledge and understanding beer and how craft beer is. And so for the listeners out there, so I'll write down all the scores, and then we'll kind of do a summary at the end. So you don't have to remember any of that. But what do you think based on Mike's rating scale? What would you give this?
I would give it a 3.5.
So what is it what do you like about it?
Well, it's different. I kind of like a little hops in there. That's That's a little different. And that caramel color is
unique for a lager.
Yes, it is, of course. But it's different, and you got to give it credit for being different too.
For sure. Yep.
All right, Mike, what about you?
Yeah, I like it. I think just like what Ron said, I think the flavor being a black lager, I don't think we've had a whole lot of black lagers, and that kind of chocolate note, it really kind of jumps out at me a little bit. The color's nice. Aroma is kind of what you'd expect for a lager, but I'm like a 3.3. I do like it.
All right, so now it's to me.
Now it's to you. So
I think it's a good beer. I'm not sure if it's a great beer, exceptional beer. And my only drawback to it is that finish. Mm-hmm. It's lingering on. Whatever they use, I don't know if it's the grain or the malt, that's on the finish. I think for me, if they could just change that just a little bit, I'd give it a little bit higher score. But I think that's the only thing right now that I see as a drawback for it. So I'm going to go like a 2.9.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely different. I'm glad you brought it because they're not all dark lagers or black lagers things. So we're going to have a variety of different flavors, I think. But this one was good. I'm glad you brought it.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I guess, Ron, what kind of beers do you typically... What are your go-to styles that you really like?
Well, I like darker beers, dark beers.
Like a stout or porter?
Or bourbon barrel. Stouts. I like imperial stouts a lot. It's probably my favorite beer.
Any styles you really kind of don't like?
Fruity.
What is you say the same thing about cigars, and tell Jim why people put what you think, why people put fruit flavors in things like a cigar or a beer. Because maybe you've told me, you know what it is.
To cover up an inferior product that's hiding behind the flavor.
There you go. And I think we've ran into some of those. We've had some are very good.
Right.
But we have ran into some where you're like, yep, they're trying to cover something.
So what's your favorite, it's not a fruit or vegetable or a flower. What's your favorite flower that you can tell right away when it's in a beer?
What is the ingredient that as soon as you taste it, you get angry?
Is it coriander?
Coriander. That does ring a bell.
it's always kind of funny because we call Ron the angry taster because if there's even a drop of coriander,
I think if they wave it over,
oh yeah,
can
and he's
tell.
just like, wait a minute, there's coriander in here. It's pretty funny.
But what is coriander?
Coriander is the seeds of the I know it, cilantro plant.
Wow, so you can
Well,
actually
that's strange because I like cilantro.
Yeah,
and you put that in salsa,
But-
right?
yep. But the seeds
The
are
seeds are evil.
right.
Don't put them. They're not designed to be in beer.
No, they're designed to be planted so you can eat cilantro.
Exactly. And Jim, one thing that Ron was witness to Tom's salmon beer.
Yes.
Oh, really? 'Cause
Oh
we-
yes, we talked about that last week.
Yep.
But Ron, I told Jim that was somewhere on that bottle in German. It said not for human consumption. And that I'm pretty sure was the worst beer we've ever tasted.
Well,
Was Mike exaggerating, or is that the truth?
I spent 3 days in the hospital for that one.
I told Jim we waived the you can't throw your beer out rule on that one because it was it was bad.
But it killed all the grass and stuff around here, so you don't have any weeds anymore.
Right.
Well, it's good for something.
Yeah, because it sure wasn't good for drinking, that's for sure. Okay, boys. Well, let's go to another beer here.
Beer here.
Beer here. Hold on, I have an issue.
Uh-oh.
There, we had a cord that was hooked into the fridge here. All right, so the next one that we got is from Badger State Brewing,
Nice.
and they're by Green Bay, right? I think is where they're at.
She's right by Lambeau Field.
Oh, dang, yeah, because we've had rated a few others of theirs. Yes, it's BRW-SKI. It's spelled. It looks like the can is kind of cool. It looks like a license plate,
Yep.
And it's BRW-SKI.
Well, does that mean it has a Polish connection?
I don't know. We're gonna look in here and we'll see what it says.
And I am Polish, so maybe
Oh, this might even taste better.
This might
it could influence my tasting.
It could be. You never know. So this is BRW-SKI Lager from Badger State Brewing, 4.8%. So it's a little bit lower ABV than the first one. And their write-up said, the classic lager brew helped build Wisconsin into the beer state that it is today. With reverence to our roots, we've created BRW-SKI, and spelled out the way they have in the can. This is pronounced BRW-SKI, a forward-thinking, German-inspired lager that drinks clean, crisp, and delicious.
Nice.
Now, one thing I still think is really cool for them, they kind of have their, I don't know if you want to say unofficial motto or whatever, but they say that they brew beer that brings people together. So that's kind of cool. I give them, that's pretty neat.
Nice.
You don't see them big beer companies saying that.
No, that's a big beer too. Is that 16
It's a 16 ounce. This is cool. I mean, check it out. It looks just like a Wisconsin license plate. It does
molded around a can.
molded around the can. It says America's Beer Land and 4.8 ABV. That's cool.
I may have to get a special license plate made like this.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. That would be
I
nice.
think that would be a
You're right in your
kinda
wheelhouse.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's stop looking at the can. Let's crack that bad boy open and
see what's inside.
see what's inside. It's what's inside that counts, right?
See if we can find something to taste. We've had a good one so far.
Yeah. So like I said, this is a 16. Oh, this is definitely lighter color.
That's a lager.
Yep.
Well, you can almost see through that one.
Yeah. Yes, you can. You know what's funny, Jim? It almost vaguely reminds me of like those Rattlers, that lemonade one, the color of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a lighter color, very clean on the pour.
Yes, it's almost like one of the big stores.
Oh, it twangs my buds, it does.
I hope that's a good thing. That's pretty refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I mean, like today,
On a hot day like today, this is pretty good. I would reach for one of these.
you could sit by if you were on the boat, you could have 2 or 3 of these out there.
Oh, yeah.
Sit
Yeah,
in the
this
sun.
is refreshing.
Wow.
Yeah, nice clean.
Have you had this
taste.
one before, Ron? Or is this your-
No. I've never seen it.
So I mean, I think it's good. I mean, this is kind of the first one. Was a little dark lager. But this is kind of what I assume more lagers would be like. This color, this flavor.
Yeah, that's
very good.
That's very good. Yep.
Very refreshing.
I kind of wish we would have had this on the boat.
There you go.
So-
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
We'll talk about that when we get done with this. But yeah, this is good.
Yep.
Do
you want to go first?
I can go first. I really like this. I think it's very clean. When it says that it drinks crisp and clean, they're not lying. It is very good.
Yeah.
On a hot day, it doesn't leave like a bad aftertaste.
Finish is smooth.
Finish is very smooth. The aroma is what you would expect for a lager. It's kind of that your lighter, normal smell.
Yep.
I'm I like it. I'm going to 3.5. I like this.
So I'm trying to figure out something bad to say. Like I'm at a loss for trying to. The only thing that I can think of, and it's not even a hit, is it's lower ABV.
Right.
The other, I mean, everything. This is the lowest probably one we'll have today, but that's not really a hit. So I think I'm right with you, Mike. A 3.5.
Okay, Ron, what do you think?
I'm going to go a 4.
Nice.
Wow.
Not only because it has a Polish tie,
Okay.
but because I like it.
And it gave you inspiration for a new license plate.
Well, I think I can flatten out this can
Yeah.
and put it on my car because I don't have license plates on my car at the moment.
There you go.
And I don't want to go into that, but this will take care of that. So
You could probably, if you had a UTV or an ATV, you could probably put it in the back too.
you could do that, yeah.
You could move it between.
Well,
is cool.
as a matter of fact, I don't have any plates on those vehicles either.
And we'll leave it at that.
So you could
And we better leave it at that.
you could probably mount that to like a piece of wood and then just like move it between.
There you go. Yeah. That's a good
Brilliant.
idea.
Trying to be efficient.
Brilliant.
You see, that's what craft beer does. It brings good ideas
It
together.
makes you smart.
Yes. Makes us smarter.
Especially within the group you're hanging out with.
Exactly. Because there's only one way to go but up. And that's the only way to go. No, this is good. I like this.
Yeah, this is really, I mean, unfortunately, this isn't a build your own 6-pack, so I couldn't even have bought more. It was like the only can that was left.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Wow, it was jumping right out at you.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that was a good thing about that one. That was a good one. Again, it's like, you're reaching in your hand in the, like the
mystery bag
The magician, sticking his hand in to find out, you pull something out and get a gold nugget every once in a while.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you hear that in the background, that's the dog. A bug flew by her, so nothing to worry about.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. So, like I said before, that we were on the boat earlier today. We went out on the lake, cruised around, took Jim out on the pontoon for a little bit, had a couple of beers out there.
Yep.
It was hot,
Oof.
but luckily when you get around a couple of the bogs, the wind would hit you again. Then it was pretty nice. But yeah, we got real close to a couple of loons. Had some deer walking on the shore by the island, or not the island, on the other side.
Right.
Sorry. And it was just we were hoping that the eagles were out, but we did not see where the eagles were at.
Did you see where the nest was, or did you?
Yep, we know where the nest is at, but we didn't see them because usually they're either sitting on the backside of the island or they're on the one tree branch right by the nest, and they weren't. Right. I didn't see them either place, but a couple of those sunken bogs are kind of out. So I was trying to see if they were, because sometimes they sit on there and wait for fish to go by and such. So, but yeah, it was a good time. I mean, we just
did you get some video of the loons? They were close by
we'll post that. We had with just the cell phone and took just a couple of brief little videos of the loons. And like I said, at one point we were probably maybe 10 feet from them. I think.
And I guess just for the listeners out there, the loons go underwater quite a bit. So it wasn't like we were looking for them. It was all of a sudden, poop, they popped up right next.
Because then they look in the water and they dive down to try and catch something, and they pop back up. And
yeah, I mean, they're interesting birds to be able to see them out there because they're not always on top of the water like you'd see. Like they look close to a mallard or a Canadian goose, but when they go underwater, you just never know where they're going to pop back up again.
Yep, and they can swim a long ways because the first time we saw it, it swam quite a ways away from us before it popped back up.
But we didn't hear them. That was the only thing I was hoping we could hear their distinct sound.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, that's cool just to go out there and see, again, seeing wildlife. And the other part I was hoping for is maybe they would attack Mike. So people wouldn't be on me so much anymore.
Wait a second. That's not very nice.
Oh, did I say that? That wasn't my inside voice?
That was the inside thought, not an outside thought.
Well, speaking of wildlife, my wife saw a wolf this morning.
Really?
Yes.
Where was that at? Up here? Or?
It was just down the road a little bit.
Wow. That's kind of scary a little bit.
I've only seen one other one up here myself.
I've actually never seen a wolf in person. A few years ago, down by us, back home, we had some wolves that moved into the valley there because all of a sudden the coyotes were gone. Because usually at night you could hear the coyotes yipping and all that in the valley. And all of a sudden, nothing. And it was like that for like 6 months. And we had heard that the wolves moved in, and the farmer that's right on the end, the wolves killed one of his cattle.
Oh,
and he wasn't happy. And but that's the thing. It's just coyotes are one thing, but wolves are.
Because usually, from my instinct, they're always usually in a pack. So if you see one, there's other ones that you can't see out there. So that's why you definitely don't want to mess around with any wolves. I mean, because there's going to be, and they're very aggressive too, aren't they? I mean,
well, they can be.
Well,
the different, like coyotes, and they will kill stuff, but they do it to eat.
Right.
A wolf, they will kill things just to kill things.
Right.
And that's how they teach their young how to hunt. They take them, kill something, then they just move on. They don't eat it. They just go somewhere else. So it's a different thing.
I think they're doing that to maybe sort of make other animals aware of their presence,
Like
in
marking
their territory.
Yep.
That could be
That's
too.
what I feel it is. So it's not like needless, senseless killing, at least to them.
Right. Oh, right. No, to them it's not. I mean,
No.
we look at it, but like coyotes. I always look at a coyote like, the Roadrunner and a coyote. He's going to get the Acme stuff, and it never works. So you're safe with them. A wolf, on the other hand, is a little different.
So you're comparing a cartoon to real life?
That's all I got, dude.
All right,
Speaking of cartoons,
we better open something.
look at this. Look at the on the can. That is kind of crazy.
It looks
Well, it's very nice artwork.
It's cool.
It's got a
It's like
got a 5 for artwork.
It's got to be like an owl or something like that. We'll take a picture and show you, folks. It's like a green. I think it's like an owl, but this is the second one from Hop and Barrel.
Yes.
And it is their Ojos Mexican Lager.
There's no CH in the last word.
Ojos.
Ojos. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce that. And it's 5% ABV. It says it is a crisp and refreshing dry hopped Mexican lager.
Ooh, dry hopped.
We always have our, how do you say that word? OJOS on warmer weather. This spring sipper is judiciously hopped with Motueka, Motueka, which conjures up notes of lime to complement a hint of salt. A truly unique American take on a Southern Hemisphere mix. And the Muchos, Ojos, or how do you pronounce that? It translates into the evil eye.
The evil eye.
The evil eye. So I'm a little bit worried now.
I got the evil eye on you guys. Making sure you don't get out of line.
Yeah.
Well, this
The artwork on that can is really cool.
bird does have
Does he have
a little
glasses on?
eye, it looks like, in the middle of his head. Maybe that's the evil eye.
Watching you. Well, let's
That's
try
kinda-
her out. Let's see
that's
what's
kinda
I'm thirsty.
That's kind of,
The heat is not getting any
No,
lowering.
no, it's...
I'm losing the...
It's
I noticed-
evaporating out our pores as fast as we're putting in our stomachs.
I noticed that you were getting a little woozy there, so this is a little...
Hopefully this will help a little bit.
This is a little bit darker than the last one.
Yeah, I mean, you can still
As
see
far
through
as-
it.
Oh, yeah. But it's...
You can smell the hops in there. That's for
Oh,
sure.
you like tops, right?
Well, I like a little bit of it, you know.
Ooh, ooh.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely a hot smell.
And again, just for everybody, I'm not an IPA guy.
No, I'm not a big one either, but there's something here that
There's
gets
something.
my attention.
I do get a faint lime. I'm not getting a lot of salt.
Maybe.
I don't get salt at all.
Either, but it definitely has a
You okay, Jim?
quite a hops punch to it.
I would safely say this is the hoppier one of the three we've had so far.
No, this is a different tasting hop. No, it's dry
Yeah.
hop. You say
It's dry hop, but
Why
it's
don't you,
with, but it's. I don't know how to pronounce this. That's the name of the hop. It's spelled Motueka.
now, what is a dry hop as opposed to a?
Dry hop is when they put the hops in after they're done boiling,
Okay, right.
and it's usually it adds, if I remember correctly, and ladies and gentlemen, if I say this wrong, I hope somebody out there will correct me, but I think it adds a little more aroma, and it doesn't typically give you a huge, like, adds a lot of bite or anything like that, but it's more aroma, and it does add a little bit of flavor.
Well, I think it definitely does give it a little more kick, unless it's just the hop itself. I'm not sure. Or the technique. I don't know.
You okay, Jim?
Yeah, this is not anyone that I would.
You wouldn't grab this one first?
If you're not a hop fan, then
Yeah, this is not a. Yeah, to me, I mean, you can smell hops, you can taste hops. It's all hop all around.
You know what's kind of cool, and I just noticed this on the can, because it has Mexican lager, and the verbiage and all that, 5.5, 5% ABV, Mexican lager, brewed in the USA. so they're doing just the Mexican lager style. Yeah, I don't get, like I said, I don't get a salt taste.
I don't get the salt either. But
and the lime is, if it is a lime, it's very.
I think the hops overtook a lot of the other flavors. They may have been. I personally think they could have. There was no need to dry hop it. I think if they would have kept with what they were trying to do beginning of the lime and the salt flavor might have been a better way to go. Because for me, I mean, because you're thinking it's a Mexican lager when it's almost more of an IPA.
Kind of. It is interesting. I can safely say we've never really had one that tasted like that before.
No, it is unique.
It is definitely unique. The artwork is cool. I
Very,
like the artwork.
very cool.
Yeah. So they got that going for them. So, Ron, why don't you? Or no, Jim, you start us off on this one. This is our third one. Yeah, you start us off. Hey, Ron, I think it might be a little bit lower than what we're thinking.
I've got to go. I'm going to stretch out on the limb here, and I'm really going to give it probably more than I should.
Okay.
I'm going to go a 2.0.
Okay. Yeah, that's more than I thought he was going to give it. And you just, what are you just too hoppy? And
It's too hoppy. And I was expecting, we've had Mexican lagers before where it's got a little bit of like some chilies.
Yep.
Or something. But even if they were trying to like make a twist towards like tequila, because you got lime and salt, I don't taste that either.
Right. I agree with you there.
So, I like their vision of what they were trying to do. I don't know if they actually did it with the dry hopping.
Right.
To me, I don't know. I'm just not getting it right there.
Well, now that you mentioned the lime, I didn't get much of a lime flavor myself.
Mm-hmm. So what are you thinking?
I'll give it a 2.5 because it's different.
In a good way or a bad way?
Let's just say it's different.
And we'll leave her at that.
I'm not a huge hop fan, but it's okay.
When I'm listening to you guys, and I was taking a couple more sips and stuff, and I'm gonna go right between you guys. I'm gonna go 2-3. I think it definitely had potential.
Right.
I think if they'd have had, like you said, some chilies in it, or if they would have went a little more towards the quote unquote margarita,
right?
Style,
yeah, with a lime flavor.
Yep, the lime and
like you say with the salt, a little bit more of a salt touch.
I think that would have.
And a couple weeks ago, we did try a couple of different lime beers, and those had some good lime flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not really picking up much lime.
Like I said, if there is lime, it's very, very faint.
It's almost non-existent.
Because at first I thought I tasted, but the more I tasted it, didn't. I think that was just from the hop, more of a taste.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Boy,
you're okay.
I swung and missed on that one.
Well, at least we tried.
Nobody can say we didn't try.
No, exactly.
It just lingered. It's like sticking in my, on my palate. It's not like going away.
Yeah, it's not light on that end.
No, that's for sure. So, Jim, what else did you, when you were out cruising around the lake and such? I mean, what kind of things did you think about, or what?
So I think the good part about being out on the lake is you have no cell phone coverage. So nobody can interrupt you. Nobody can bother you. You can, because Mike said his Starlink doesn't work out there.
I don't have Starlink up here.
So you're just like one with nature. And I think that's, for me, just getting away from, all distractions, anything that you hear on the TV or on your phone. You don't have to worry about any of that when you're out on the boat or even here at the camper. You can just relax, kind of get a relaxing time and just, sit back and enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, just enjoying quietness is
right. Yeah. How about you, Ron? I guess when you come up north here,
well, there's what I like is there are fewer police up here than back home.
They don't, not as many know who you are.
They don't notice my plateless car.
They don't know him by first name.
Not yet.
They don't have the facial recognition of this is a Ron guy.
Oh, there he is.
Let's go after him.
I have similar thoughts, but I've been coming here since the early 70s, so that's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, you
and
are.
I'm only 29, so
that's what I was gonna say. You're that old.
So how does that work? Anyway, this is a beautiful place, and I highly recommend it.
Because you've been coming here for where we're at for a long time.
Yeah, since the early 70s.
So you stayed here from the beginning, or did you?
Yes.
Okay. So you've seen a lot of changes.
Well, I was here before all the permanent campers were here. I was here before even a lot of the transient campground was built, and the cabins were here, of course.
Sure.
But you just come in a tent, though, right? You didn't have your own camper. You just
right.
That is really camping.
Well, that's like people did it in the old days. Not saying I'm old. I'm only 29.
And holding.
But yeah.
At least now, when it's hot like it is today, we can flip that switch and turn the air conditioner on. That's nice.
Well, this breeze coming right now.
Oh, the breeze right now
feels good.
Kicked up. Feels good. The sun came out.
Yep. We can keep
this. This is livable here.
Yes. This is not bad. Well, let's keep this party going, boys.
All right.
So we have another. So this is our fourth lager.
Fourth one.
This is by Earth Rider, and this is in Superior. And one of our other members, Kirk, that comes to all of our tastings, he's from Superior, so a lot of times he brings a lot of Earth Rider beers, and so we've tasted it, and I may have tasted this one before, but I don't remember for sure. So, and it's a lager, and it is Precious Material Helles Lager. So it's going to be, again, a little bit different flavor. I think it'll be a little more like kind of on the Hefeweizen,
a little more German,
a little more of a German flavor to it, I believe. This is 5.5%, and it's 29 IBUs.
Okay.
So here was what they said. They said, Old Bavaria meets Great Lakes Adventure. German hops and Lake Superior water create an invigorating beer. Bright and refreshing. Hold fast.
Oh,
so that's.
Well, are we supposed to hold on to something?
I think so.
Are we on a big ship or something?
It could be.
We're listening a little bit.
It could be.
Well,
So we will be soon.
Yes. So the artwork, well, when you look at it, it looks like it's a guy that I don't know if he's on like an ore ship.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Is he carrying that all by? It looks like
he's got like a
well.
But it looks like it's one of those big cargo ship, or not a cargo, but like you'd see, they carry the iron ore on the Great Lakes.
Yeah, and I think one of the old ore docks.
Yeah. Yep.
That you've seen pictures of is in the background.
Well,
The famous ore docks.
It's from Superior, so that would tie in.
A lot up there, right?
That is cool. I give him credit for that. That is a neat.
Cool. Yeah.
So you're going to give him a point for that?
Well, it'll factor in, but I can't say a point. But I give him credit for kind of grabbing the history of the area and such.
Well, I've had some of this beer before, and it's they make some pretty good stuff.
You had this one, so don't ruin it for us.
Well, no, I haven't had this one, but I've had other beers that they make, and
they've been good.
Yes.
So we got two things going for us. The artwork is good, and Ron said he's had other ones that have tasted good. So.
Previous taste.
Oh, it looks light. Looks like a lager.
Big head.
Big head on it.
Yep. It's a good looking pour there.
So we might be able to keep Mike doing this?
Well, maybe.
We'll see how it goes.
Well, it smells much better than the last one.
It's a pretty mellow.
It's pretty mellow
beer.
You can taste the difference. So I mean,
yes, it has
whatever that Helles style.
Yeah, it has less flavor than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be more of a stronger, almost like a Hefeweizen or a Dunkelweiss kind of thing. I'm not sure why I thought that, because Helles is probably not quite that, but it's good. I mean, it's
so. What are the characteristics of a Helles beer?
It's clear-ish,
beerish,
transparent,
beerish color,
kind of yellowish.
Yeah.
When poured, probably has a nice head.
Tastes like beer.
Yeah. Hey, remember when we invited you up and we said, don't ask tough questions? That's a tough question.
Oh, was that a tough question? Okay. No more technical questions.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever that Helles style, I mean, that's, for me, what lingers on the finish.
Yeah.
It stays in, it's not a bad taste, but it's a different taste for me. Don't usually get that.
It almost has
flavor.
a little bit of a sweetness on the finish. You know what I mean? Where it's not like, some of the stouts where they're really sugary sweet. This has got just a little bit of a hint of a faint sweetness on the end. It's not bad.
Or is it the Lake Superior water? Does that have any influence?
Could be, because that's cold. It doesn't give up their dead if you listen to Gordon Lightfoot.
He just passed away too.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the Gordon then.
One of the greatest Canadian singer-songwriters that wrote and sang one of the greatest storytelling songs of all time.
Well, that's true.
Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
It was a long song.
Yep.
It was a long intro there, buddy. You got to cut your toast on.
When you're doing a toast, you got to be thorough about it.
Well, Ron, you finished yours. You must really like it. What are you thinking?
It was smooth, refreshing, and I was thirsty, and tasted pretty good.
All right. So how many stars do you want to give it?
I'll give it a 3.75.
Wow.
All right. Wow.
You liked it. Nice.
Yeah, it was not offensive.
Yeah.
Very drinkable.
All right.
I think if it was super cold, it would be
even better.
Very refreshing on a hot day like today.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's good. Not quite that good, but I'm going like a 3.1. I gave it a 1/10 of a point for the artwork.
Oh, you did give us some.
Yes, I gave it a bonus for the artwork. But I agree with you, Ron. I think it's refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
It has, like I said, that little faint hint of a sweetness on the end that I really kind of enjoyed. And I'd have another one for sure.
So for me, I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm kind of basing it on what we've drank so far today.
Mm-hmm.
So for the 4 we've had today, the one I still like is the Brewski.
Okay.
For that style. For this one, it's not as smooth. The finish is just a little bit. I know you said, Mike, that's a sweeter. I don't get the sweetness. It's almost a little. I don't want to say the word bitter, but it's a little bit stronger on the finish. So I'm going to go with 3.3.
Well, that was all right though.
Yeah, I mean it's above average.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I think like Ron said, if it was, I don't think. Well, I transgress here a little bit, but we went to a brewer game and they have a little thing like this you can sit behind in the platform of the table. They've got these cup holders, and in the cup holder it's like a piece of ice inside there. They're electrified, so you set your can down inside there, and it never gets cold or never gets warm.
Amazing.
Who would have thought of that?
It's a miracle.
So, what I'm getting out of this conversation is you're not happy with my bar.
Well, I just brought up the point about Ron saying that the beer wasn't cold.
Right.
But if you have one of those where you have
So
like
is
the little insets,
is it like a I'm guessing almost like a glycol type that keeps like the tap lines cold and such. It must be something like that.
right? Because inside the bottom, it's the exact same dimensions as a 16-ounce beer
Yep.
that you get, when you're at the brewer game.
Yep.
It sits right in there, and only like the top inch.
Oh, so it's down.
Oh, it's down in there, so you just grab the top when you want your drink, but it keeps it ice cold.
But that's
Amazing.
just like in the certain area. It's not like down in the normal seats.
That was in the Miller Light.
Okay, their area. Okay. Well, that's cool though. That's
you're out in the middle of the sun. Everything's beating down on you hot like this today, but you grab your beer and
that's a cool idea.
I think what he's telling you, Mike, is that he wants you to install those here.
Here's
And
that'd be a good thing.
I like that idea too. So
well,
the next time I come here, I expect
that's 2 against 1, right?
yes.
this is yeah. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing though, because like the Labor Day tasting, there's so many people that come to it. We wouldn't even have a bar top anymore. It'd all be just those holders.
But see, you could put another like a false top on it.
Oh, there
for the
you
beer
go.
tasting.
There you go.
Because then you
But actually, I want to look into that because we are moving, and when we get the bar set up in there, that's something that
I was like,
into.
whoever thought of that is a genius.
Exactly. Why didn't we think of that?
There's people that get a can cooler or a can koozie for your. That doesn't. It only keeps it the same temperature and then it goes down.
Right.
This keeps it at freezing all the time.
Brilliant.
There's a bee flying by me.
I wish I
this story. You've heard my stories about the bees, and one was just buzzed me. So
right. So yes, I just had to. Thanks for reminding me on that, Ron. I'm glad you stopped by to help us drink.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Mike is going to have that installed for us.
yes. Just don't tell my wife anytime soon. So
yes, but there's a way we could put a.
You can cover that up,
Yeah,
just have it out when we.
What are those?
We're here.
What are those? Those old things? They've been in there the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's a way you can put a link in this week's or when you do the release for this, put a link in there when you find one. So maybe they'll
Oh yeah. Well, you never know.
Maybe they'll send you one.
Nice. That's interesting. There's been some really interesting products for
keeping your beer cold.
bars. Well, like that. I'm sure you guys have seen the ones where they have these special glasses and you put your glass in, they push down and it fills the glass from the bottom up.
Yeah. How do they do that? Is there a hole in the bottom?
There's a hole in the bottom and it's got almost like.
Oh, there really is a hole in there?
Yep. And it pushes it up and then it
spring
fills
on it or something?
Yeah. Or kind of, like that.
Like some type of a valve?
Yep.
Wow.
And we were, when we do the shirt run, like that shirt you're wearing, Ron, one of the bars on the other side of the flowage has that. Chief Lake Lodge. They have that.
Really?
Where and I don't know, it wasn't all their beers.
What's on tap?
It was on tap, and I don't remember if it was all what they had on tap or if it was just certain one. I can't remember. But when we went, we just got a bottle to try and get the T-shirt. But he fill it and just push it down and fills up, and then it doesn't foam as much, and it's like.
But does it keep it cold?
That I don't know. I've never tasted a beer out of one of those, so I don't know.
I still think the ice.
I do agree. The keep the can cold thing is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there. So let's hit another beer.
Yeah, we're talking about
beers, and Ron's getting thirstier as I see. So this next one we have is from Indeed Brewing.
Indeed, it is.
And they're in Minneapolis and Milwaukee. So you got a couple different locations. This is Loretta's Dark Lager. So this is going to be closer to that, I'm guessing like that black lager.
Right, Saint Black.
A little more of a stronger, a darker flavor to it. It's 5.6% ABV and 24 IBUs. So it shouldn't be too hoppy.
Should be drinkable.
How they described it was like sliding into the corner booth of a favorite haunt. Drinking Loretta's feels right in its instant familiarity.
Say that twice.
A love letter to supper clubs and taverns with long-standing traditions, regular patrons, and charming kitsch. I don't know what that is. Loretta's is, why do they use all these big words, Jim? Is inexorably tied to place. Whatever that means. Inextricably tied to place. Wall hangings tell generations of stories, and the jukebox plays timeless classics, while barflies and barkeeps shake cups of dice well into the night. Wherever your place may be, find comfort in this dark lager that promises to be, if nothing else, just good.
Wow, that's a good write-up.
It's a good write-up. It definitely plays on the...
It better live up to that.
They really wrote up. And
artwork is kind of nice too.
Check it out, Jim. It's like an old bar.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
That's
Got
nice.
the deer head on the one side. That's a cool can. I like that.
Yep, very nostalgic.
Yes, there you go, Ron. It's like what you would think of like an old time.
Oh, maybe was Ron reminiscing of his
an old time Northwoods bar
of his youth?
Yeah, Ron probably saw this when he was 27 or so, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
This is a few years ago.
This a couple years ago.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's
see. Oh, look at that.
It's not near as dark as that black lager.
No.
This is more almost like
brownish.
an amberish color.
Brownish.
Looks like this could have potential.
That is a unique color, that's for sure.
Still got good head though, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's got white head.
So I wonder if Loretta was the name of a bar or a bar keep, or I wonder how
That's a good question. I wonder. Yeah, I don't know, Jim. That'd be kind of
was this
interesting.
one of those hard questions again?
No. Well, kind of, but it would be one of those kind of interesting if you knew, you could get a hold of it and say, who was Loretta, or did you just come up with, just pull the name out, or what?
Well, Loretta's would be a kind of a cool name for a bar.
Mm-hmm. That tastes good. I like that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really good.
It is what you would think of as an amber lager.
Amber lager.
That is definitely, that hits that for sure.
It's very well balanced. It's good going in and it's good going down.
The finish is smooth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's always what I always fall back on. What stays in your mouth after you swallow? I mean, it's just like sometimes.
So
this one is really good all the way around.
Yep.
I like that.
Smooth all the way through.
Wow.
We had a few, indeed.
Yes, we've had a number of Indeed beers. This is the first time we ever had this one.
Yes.
And this is a good. And this was in the Build Your Own 6-pack, you said.
Build your own 6-pack.
Well, you hit some good ones there, Jim.
I mean, again, it's almost like going in there blindfold. You don't really know what.
But it's like we've talked about before. And Ron, you've bought like a 6-pack of beers before that have been, you drink the first one and you go, oh, that's not very good. How do I get rid of this?
That's why you have Mike, right?
That's why he decided to introduce me to craft beer. Here, why don't you drink this? Well, you know what I mean? And yes, the Build Your Own 6-pack, sometimes it's like, But the thing I like about it is if you like this, you could go back, right? 9 times out of 10, you can go back and buy a 6-pack or 4-pack, whatever it comes in, if you want to, and you're not stuck with a bad beer. And I really like it because we can try a number of different beers, and they're all beers we've never had before.
Right now, and I hope the listeners out there too. I mean, we're not trying to steer anybody to a beer or not towards a beer, but at least we're giving you our opinion. So if you had the same palate, you might want to try one of these out. Exactly. I mean, because like we're trying on some of these, they don't all taste good,
right?
And we're just trying to give our honest opinion.
Yep.
We're not trying.
That's what we always say. When you're rating beers, there's no wrong rating because it's your personal opinion.
And we're not getting paid. We're not getting any money for this.
I mean, that's the thing that we always stress is this is our honest opinions, and hopefully if somebody listens to it and finds it and wants to try it, that's great. Well, I guess I can start this one.
All right.
I like this. I think this checks all the boxes for like an amber kind of lager. I'm going 3.5. I like that.
All right, just to be you already Brewski, you gave it 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 3.6 then.
Wow,
I like this.
All right, I like this. I mean, there's nothing. I haven't been able to find anything bad about this beer. Very good beer. But I still like the Brewski for some reason. For me, that I just like that one. So I'm just going to go one below. I'm going to go with 3.4.
Okay, Ron.
Well, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I'm going all the way up to a 3.9.
Nice.
Wow.
So you still like the Brewski a little bit better?
Well, I like it not just because it's going to be my new license, but
And it
that
has
is
some
a very
Polish
good beer.
heritage.
Yes. And that was very crisp. That was a good beer too.
And that was a more clear
Yes.
beer, and this one, of course, is
More of an amber.
more of an amber. So I mean, they're different in that respect and taste too. But yeah, this is very good for the darker of the lagers.
I mean, I don't want to slight any of the beers we've tried. They've all been good. I mean, they've all been. I think you could take them out right now if we had a 6-pack of any one of those out on a boat, and you could drink them out on the boat and enjoy a good boat ride around the lake.
Still be able to drive.
Yes,
Except Jim would complain about the Mexican lager.
yeah, I might.
And Ron and I would just sit back and laugh when we made him drink a couple more.
You guys are just so nice.
Well, you know,
With
maybe
friends like
maybe
you
if
guys-
you had a lime, a little bit of salt, you know, to kick that back with,
There you go.
maybe that's what you need to do. I don't know.
But with
Yeah.
friends like you guys, who needs enemies?
Exactly.
That's right. That's exactly
We keep you on your toes.
Yeah, we have an answer for everything.
So Ron, you'll be here for the Labor Day beer tasting.
I hope to be here.
Jim will be here. I'll be here. Have you started looking around at all yet, or not so much?
No, I usually wait until the last week before.
Yep.
Then I start beating the bushes.
Yeah, I say honestly, I haven't really started looking too much either. I do have a couple of them in my fridge already that but one category I'm kind of struggling a little bit that I got to try and find. But
Must be the wild card. You must be struggling there. You don't.
no. Surprisingly, I got a fridge full of wild cards, but no, it's the vanilla beer. I'm just kind of, and again, I know it just has to have vanilla in it. So there's all sorts of
Right.
different ways I can go with it. But I did have one a few weeks ago. I think we had talked about this, that I went to New Glarus with my family and such. And then we went to a brewery in Madison, and they had a Schwarzbier that the vanilla flavor was unbelievable. But they don't can it. I would have had to get a crowler or a growler. But this would have been over a month. It has sat, and then it wouldn't have been any good.
Right.
You know, Susie's like, well, we could drive down. And I'm like, well, first off, we don't even know if they still have it, being that it's a month, you know, and do I really want to drive 2.5 hours, get a beer and come 2.5 hours home? You know, probably not.
Well, I think you would probably do that. Probably drive further and longer.
Oh,
You know,
And
snap.
buy more while you're there to have on the way back.
Wow.
You know,
I shouldn't say that.
Ron, that hit close to home because you're probably right. Who am I trying to kid? You guys know. We probably would have wrote down together. So,
apparently then you didn't tell Ron, or Ron didn't listen to our latest podcast.
oh, I know where you're
Because
going.
Julie and I drove up to Central Waters, and we got the best beer Mike has ever rated in his life from Central Waters.
They do make good beer.
We had,
You know, even though they're right down the street from the septic or the
Water
sewage
treatment.
water treatment plant. No, that's got nothing to do with their beer. They guarantee me that. So
yes.
Yes,
not-
but the beer,
not worry about
you
that.
should hear what Mike's
Yeah,
about.
it was an Imperial Stout, but it was aged 54 months in Pappy Van Winkle bourbon barrels.
wow.
And I'm not kidding you, Ron. Jim and I both gave it a 4.8. It was the most, even our wives tasted it. And they were even like, this is, Susie was anyway. She's like, this is very good, you know, and yeah, it was
Unbelievable.
unlike anything.
That I've ever. I mean, I've never had any beer that remotely, with that high ABV, with that
'Cause
flavor.
It was, what was the ABV? Do you remember the
Was
ABV?
it like, it was up there, wasn't it?
It was 14 or something. But you know how normally, Ron, we always say like Goose Island is kind of sets the bar for their Bourbon County for like barrel aged beers. You know, that's kind of what everybody's. Yeah, this blew way past that. It
Well,
was-
their stouts have always been
Yep.
very good, really good.
But this one was like, wow. I mean, unbelievable.
And I don't know if we should put the plug in for them, but they're going to be releasing 2 more
Oh yes.
in a couple of weeks. And Julie and I are going to run up there and get those.
Yep.
Imperial stouts.
Yep. They have this anniversary series. It's their 25th anniversary, and I've got 2 of them in my basement now, like the first 2.
Right.
And then you had picked up the Pappy Van Winkle, but then they had a
Elijah Craig.
but that was sold out.
But I did try that though. That was
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
ooh,
So,
that
but then they have 2 more now coming out, and we read the description, and I apologize, I can't remember. Was one like in a port wine barrel or something?
They sound good, so
They sound good. Yeah.
That's why I wanted to go up there and get those 2 and bring those back. So I'm like, so there's a plug for them because
There you go. Again, we said it on last, that episode that if they have a pro staff, we would love to sign up.
Yes.
They have good beers.
All right,
Well,
so you got something from my favorite wrestler? Huh?
well, boys, we're going into wrestling now.
We're gonna have to put Ron in a chokehold here, like
Maybe.
Cold, like
You got to do a stunner.
we got to slam
Do
the
the
beers.
stunner thing. We are going to try Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
There you go.
Broken Skull American Lager from El Segundo Brewing Company. 4.8% ABV. Here's the can. I will show you that.
Look at that bad boy.
And their write-up said, "This beer is our take on the classic American lager, made for the working man and woman. This beer is brewed with the finest American-grown barley and hops and is the ultimate reward for a hard day's work. Coming in at 4.8%, this beer goes down easier than a 3-day weekend. Cheers."
Oh,
Well, that broken skull kind of gives me the EBGB.
Yeah.
so that means just don't fall down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I
So
don't
it's
know.
a white can. It's got like barbed wire around it, a broken skull on it. It's interesting. Oh, Steve Austin, he has on there where apparently he signed.
Oh, he
at
signs
some
each
point.
can.
Yeah, I don't think he signed each can. Nope, that's right. Painted right on there, printed on there. And it's a 16 ounce, a pint can.
Yeah, and I tried to do some more research again on the actual brewery itself,
Uh-huh.
and it was a little difficult to navigate through their website because it looks like there's a Stone Cold series.
Okay, now I'm glad you said that because I think that I had the IPA. I think he has
Yes.
an IPA, and
Yes,
I've
he
had
does.
that.
Yes.
And that was actually pretty decent. And we've got another bee flying around here.
There's a little bit of a cloudy look to this, and it's not just the humidity condensing on the glass. A little bit.
Yeah, it's a
bit
little
cloudy.
cloudy, a little
Yeah.
hazy, not bad. Smells like a.
Smells all right. That tastes good. I mean, it's
I think the flavor is we have had more today with flavors.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
yes.
But this is pretty refreshing.
I think we need the cooler thing.
Yeah, if the cooler thing in the bar would made a huge difference, but then you wouldn't get your taster glass out.
No, we put this in there. See,
Oh,
could you work on that, Mike?
I'll work on that.
So we can get these even a little colder.
If I can't get that, I'll bring some duct tape and we'll tape some ice cubes to the cans.
But I think it's definitely refreshing. It's not.
Yeah, and it's not bad.
What do you think, Ryan? You haven't said much.
It's smooth, I will say that, all the way through from start to finish. No surprises there, and it's good.
So, and they're calling this an American lager, right?
Right.
So is that for all the listeners out there? Is that a different American lager? Is different than?
Well, it's different than the Mexican lager.
Yes, for sure.
I think it's probably just a little different,
Use of hops.
right? Or or whatever they
Yeah,
use.
it's-
Probably just
it's-
a little different.
It's just, I guess my word that comes to my mind is a little flatter.
And what's the ABV? It's 4.8. It's
4.8.
pretty low. So I think you could definitely drink a few of these.
Oh yeah, and Jim, like the difference between pale or ales and lagers. What the yeast that they use, a lager yeast, they have to start. They start when they age it. It starts colder and then it starts a little warmer and then they slowly work their way down.
Okay.
So it takes like an ale may take, let's say, I'm just going to throw numbers. Let's say it takes a week or two in the fermentation process, where a lager may take a month because they slowly drop the temperature for the yeast to keep kind of doing a slower process. So that's where you get kind of that more of a, I don't know how you want to say it, kind of a mellower finish and kind of taste to it. So that's the big difference on how they do that. And it takes longer to make a lager than it does like an ale.
How low does the temperature go? Out of curiosity.
I'm not sure on that where they start and where it goes down.
Could you find that out for us?
I could find that out.
When you get the table. It has.
I'll make sure that the cup holders are at least that cold.
You are the host, right? You are hosting
Yes.
Ron and I for this tasting.
Yes.
You could bring a few more nuggets of information for the listeners.
Yes,
Well-
I know that in the old days they used to make lagers and put them in a cave or something like that.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Isn't there a baseball team called them?
That's loggers. Like
As in
not
log.
laggers.
Wood log.
Oh, there's a difference.
There's a difference. Yes.
Okay, all right. Just seeing if you're still awake. Good catch.
I got you.
All right, do you want to go first?
I went first on the last one. You go first on this one.
All right. So I like this beer. The only thing is, I know it's a lager, maybe a little more flavor would be, but I know it's hard to add with a lager. So I'm asking probably the impossible. So and I got these like stacked in pretty tight here too. So I'm going to have to go 3.2 with my Stone Cold, my favorite wrestler.
There you go, Ron.
I'll go 3.5 on it. I think it's
So just FYI,
it's
your Saint Black, you gave it 3.5. Is it the same? You think it's the same?
well, I think I'm giving it a 3.5.
Two now that have the same exact score.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
It's okay. Is there anything that's differentiating your Saint Black from Stone Cold?
Well, I just think that they were good representatives of what they were written up to be.
Okay, that's good.
So
All right.
that's my
You're taking
intent there.
All right.
I think this is kind of typifies an American lager.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
The more commercial ones,
Yep.
you know.
I'm going to go with a 3.0. I think the flavor was decent. I guess I was expecting a little bit more, but it was good. Like I said, I think it's better than average for sure. But I'm just going to go with. I think some of the other ones we had were better today.
All right. So then, Ron, we finished our 6, and what we do now, usually at the end of this, is just kind of if you've got like a favorite 1 or 2, or 1, 2, or 3, why don't you tell us what you think your top ones were of what we tasted today?
Well, I like the Brewski. I thought that was a very good beer.
Okay.
Excellent beer, and it might keep me out of the hands of the law with a license plate.
There you go.
Good call. Good
and
call.
that may keep other people out of the hands of the law too. So I mean, it works for a couple good things there. But the how do you pronounce that?
Saint
one?
Black.
The Saint Black.
Yeah, that I thought that was a very interesting darker beer, and the Precious Metals was a good beer too. I like that one. I guess I like Loretta's pretty good. I mean, well,
He liked them all.
I like
them
beer.
all.
Right. So I mean,
He likes beer. Yes.
so this whole, I guess the category in general, you thought was okay.
Yes,
Good.
I mean,
it was very well worth doing. Very interesting. I like the dark ones were very interesting.
and I just want to put this pitch in there too. Just because you walked by once and you saw us drinking beer doesn't mean you should always be walking by here to look to see
Well, I
what
walk
beer drink is going on. So I just want to throw that pitch out there.
around this campground constantly looking for people who are drinking beer because I like to rate their beers as well,
See.
Oh,
and it also saves on the bar bill for me.
Yes.
there you go.
You know, now that you say it that way, now I understand why he walks around here all the time.
Well, it's not just for my health. I'm
That's why you're still 29.
Yes.
exactly.
See?
Exactly.
So for me, Jim, my number 1 is Loretta's. I thought that was a very good beer. Number 2 was the Brewski. I agree with Ron. I think that was a unique one, and it was good. I liked it. And then the Saint Black. I thought that was the 3rd place. Different kind of lager than we were usually drinking, and yeah, I was happy with it.
All right. Well, it looks like my brewski that we brought. I mean, I think echoing what everybody else said.
That was a big hit.
I think that was again. I can't claim the license plate piece. I'll have to let Ron keep that. But I like the taste. What's inside the can. Loretta's was my 2nd, and then the Precious Materials was 3rd.
Okay.
But I think overall, I mean, the only one for me that was an outlier was the Mexican lager. The other ones were within like 0.5 of each other. So they were all very close, and we're just splitting hairs. Other than that one, it was kind of an outlier, but all the rest I thought were good. I mean, I'm glad we even did this on a hot day.
Oh, yeah.
At a campground. I mean, I'm glad that you decided to invite me up, bring some beers, and then actually see Ron walking by. So
Well, you saved me from expiring from
dehydration.
lack of fluid, and I appreciate that.
Anytime we can do that, Ron, we will be more than happy to help.
We are here to help.
I'm always here to drink.
Boy, couldn't be said better.
That is right. Well, hey, guys, thank you so much for listening to us. And like I said, this was a fun category. Jim, thanks for bringing the lagers. I think they were all, like you said, very good. We had one that was a little bit not quite as good, but the rest of them I thought were very good. Ron, thank you for stopping over. I know you were on your way to the restroom, but I'm glad that you decided to hang out with us for a while. And hopefully we'll be able to have him back on because I think...
we could try to twist his arm, see what happens.
Well, as long as you have cold beer, I'll be here.
Okay, well, that's
Oh,
good. That's
look
good.
at another rhyme.
Man, this guy.
Cold beer, I'll be here.
This is amazing. He is. I'm telling you, dude. He's the
Wow.
sensei. That's all I can say.
Is he like the
He's like the Jedi master of
I was gonna say,
beer.
what's that little one called?
Yoda?
There you go.
I'm a little taller than that.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for listening to us. And as we always say, we hope that your campfires are always warm and your beer is always cold.
See ya.
Bye.
Good day.
Thank you for listening to the Northwoods Beer Guy podcast. If you have a question, a comment, or a beer you'd like us to review, please feel free to send us a message at northwoodsbeerguy@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're on Untappd, look up Northwoods Beer Guy and send a friend request. Until next week, I hope all your campfires are warm and all your beer is cold.